Child protection is everyone's business. Every SOS coworker and everyone who is in contact with participants in the SOS program has the responsibility to protect children from all forms of abuse, whether it is physical, sexual, emotional abuse, or violation of children's privacy, neglect, and exploitation. Child abuse occurs in all groups and nations, without distinction of class, religion, faith group, sexuality, gender, or race. Physical abuse, sexual abuse, neglect and negligent treatment, emotional abuse. Physical abuse is the actual or potential physical harm caused by an action or lack of action, which is reasonably within the control of the parent or person in a position of responsibility, power, or trust. Physical abuse may involve hitting, spanking, shaking, throwing, poisoning, burning, scalding, drowning, or suffocating. It can also mean causing physical harm to a child by fabricating the symptoms of or deliberately causing ill health to a child. Incidents may be single or repeated. Sexual abuse is evidenced by an activity between a child and an adult or another child who by age or development is in a relationship of responsibility, trust, or power. The activity being intended to gratify or satisfy the needs of the other person. Child sexual abuse involves forcing or enticing a child to take part in sexual activities, whether or not the child is aware of what is happening. The activities may involve physical contact and penetrative or non-penetrative acts. This may also include involving children in looking at or in the production of pornographic material, or encouraging children to behave in sexually inappropriate ways. Neglect and negligent treatment is the inattention or omission on the part of the caregiver to provide for the development of the child in health, education, emotional development, nutrition, shelter, and safe living conditions, in the context of resources reasonably available to the family or caretakers, and which causes, or has a high probability of causing, harm to the child's health or physical, mental, spiritual, moral, or social development. This includes the failure to properly supervise and protect children from harm as much as is feasible. Emotional abuse is the persistent emotional ill treatment of a child that adversely affects his or her self-perception and development. It may involve conveying to the child that he or she is worthless, unloved, and inadequate, or there only to meet the needs of another person, or imposing inappropriate expectations upon him or her. Acts include restricting movement, threatening, scaring, discriminating, scapegoating, corrupting, ridiculing, degrading, bullying, or humiliating. For example, asking potentially embarrassing questions, demanding potentially embarrassing action, or other non-physical forms of hostile or rejecting treatment.